Hello, I'm Jeff Hampton with the Hampton Law Firm. Welcome to our YouTube channel. Today I want to talk to you about the subject of criminal trespass. What does the state of Texas have to prove? Are there some defenses that you can rely upon if you're facing a charge like this? I appreciate you joining us today. If you wait around till the end of this video, I'll also give you a free ebook, What to Do If You Have Been Charged with a Crime in Texas. Okay, let's jump right into this. Now, criminal trespass as defined under Texas law, first of all, it's pretty simple, right? Criminal trespass is being somewhere you're not supposed to be, right? Somewhere that you don't have the authority or the permission to be at. But under the law, it says, under Texas statute, it's when an individual enters or remains on or in property of another, including residential land, agricultural land, recreational vehicle park, a building or an aircraft or other vehicle, without effective consent, and the person had noticed that entry was forbidden, or received notice to depart but failed to do so. Okay? In other words, you can face this charge if you're on someone else's property and you either saw that entry was prohibited, you could visibly see that and you were not supposed to be there, or maybe you remained on that property after someone came and told you that you're supposed to leave. Okay? Pretty simple. Now, what are the penalties for criminal trespass in Texas? Ordinarily, criminal trespass is a Class B misdemeanor, okay? That means a Class B misdemeanor is punishable by up to 180 days in jail and up to a $2,000 fine. There are a couple of instances where you can be charged with a Class A misdemeanor, which is, in that situation, criminal trespass of a habitation, okay? Or if you happen to be carrying a deadly weapon at the time of the offense, it could be elevated to that higher Class A misdemeanor, punishable by up to 1 year in county jail and up to a $4,000 fine. Now, let's identify that part of the definition I just gave you was the notice to depart, okay? Now, let's talk about that. A couple of ways that a notice to depart can be issued. How are you supposed to know that you're not supposed to be there, right? What is this notice that is required under the law? Well, one can be a written or oral communication by the owner or another person acting on the owner's behalf. That's when a police officer sometimes shows up and says, hey, you're not allowed to be here. Here's a trespass warning. Take this trespass warning. If you come back again, you're going to get arrested, okay? Secondly is an enclosure or fence that serves the obvious purpose of excluding entry to strangers or containing livestock. Number 3 is signage posted on the property or building's entrance that indicates entry is prohibited. The signs must be placed in areas that are reasonably likely to be seen. So there's a little bit of a caveat, right? So many of you seen criminal, it says trespass. You know, you basically telling you, this is a trespass warning. Don't come in here. You're not allowed to be on this property. The problem is we run into this issue on occasion where you don't have the actual trespass warnings adequately posted. The signage is not posted adequately. I'll go back to an example on that in just a minute. But then number 4, purple paint marks placed on tree trunks or posts. Now, I won't delve into that, but that's something, I'll be frank with you, I never knew until I started really dealing with criminal trespass cases, is that if you have purple paint marks placed on tree trunks or posts, that means you're not supposed to be there, okay? That's under Texas law. And finally, on land with crops from human consumption, the crop itself is visible evidence that you're not supposed to be there. So you can't be out in people's crops. That should be self-evident according to the law. Now, let's talk for a few minutes about defenses to criminal trespass charges. So a good attorney is going to look into some of these defenses to see if they apply to you. I'm not going to go through a bunch of them here, but obviously firefighters, emergency medical services team members, utility workers, telecommunications workers, those are all people that are allowed to be on certain properties, okay? But what about if you did not receive adequate notice to depart? This goes back to the signage. Now, the example I'm going to give you is I represented a client who actually, him and his son were just looking to go fishing. They pulled up and they found what looked like an open area, and they saw water, and they saw an opportunity to go out there and say, hey, let's grab our fishing poles and let's go fishing. Well, they go out there, and on their way down the path towards towards where the small pond was, they don't see anything. There's no signage posted. They get out there and they end up getting arrested for criminal trespass. Well, there was signage posted in other portions on the back side of the property and on the other side, but no adequate signage on the front portion of the property, so they would have no reason to know that they were not permitted to be there. It just looked like open land, open property, okay? And as a result of that, we were able to get their criminal trespass case dismissed because they did not receive adequate notice. They would not receive adequate notice to depart. So that's just one example. It is when you look at a situation like this, what would a reasonable person look at this and believe they're not allowed to be there? All right. Now, if you're facing a criminal trespass charge, it's still something that you need to address and you should fight it, because the last thing you want is to have any type of offense on your permanent criminal record. If you would like the Hampton Law Firm to give you a free case analysis, maybe your case is out of the Dallas-Fort Worth area, don't hesitate to give us a call at 817-877-5200. Now, you waited around to the end of this video, so let me give you a free resource. Our free ebook, What to Do If You Have Been Charged with a Crime in Texas. Click the link right down here below and give us your email address and we'll shoot that right over to you. And once again, thanks for joining us here today on our YouTube channel, and I look forward to seeing you on our next video series.